Kris, I'm going to turn it over to you, but I would love to welcome Sam Villa, a very, very good friend of mine from a long time ago. And
Yes.
Kris, what do you have to say?
Oh my goodness. Well, Sam's one of my favorite people of all time, and I haven't seen you in forever. So good to see you, Sam. And thank you. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you taking your time.
A pleasure and an honor. And it's great to see you both. And I'm glad that you're well, you're healthy, sheltered, and safe. Most important.
Absolutely. In this crazy, crazy time. So we're going to be asking you a few questions, Sammy. All right. So can I kick off, Josif?
Yes. Oh my gosh, you kidding me? Kris, I have an idea.
Okay.
Because I want to listen. Can you start off, please?
Oh, absolutely. So,
right,
Sam, what living person do you most admire and why?
Well, I think that currently now where I'm at right now, there's so many people that are affecting my life right now, but I had an opportunity to connect with a person I've always admired that goes way back. And students, there's going to be someone that you're going to connect to, as I did in my journey. And the first person I really connected with, Josif and Kris, was Paul Mitchell, way back in the day when I would follow him. I remember driving all one night to Los Angeles from California after school, getting there in the morning and then getting up early to go see him, and then drove home that Sunday evening. So you're going to attach people. One of the people that I attached to that you know very well, Kris, was Anthony Moscolo. And yesterday I had an opportunity to interview him, and I have to tell you, it brought back some of the people that worked for me in my salon said, Sam, you were like a kid when you were talking to him. But I would have to say that right now, a person that's impacting me again is Anthony Moscolo, and a lot of it's just based on the conversation we had. But you will find someone that you will attach to.
Yeah, so important, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Thank you.
Kris, I want to say we're searching for him. Maybe Sam's a helper. Are we searching for him?
I've been in contact with him.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
So
Yummy.
he's going to be joining us on iConixxx too soon. Which is great.
Yes, I can't wait to meet him. And I want to go back, Sam, I'm going way back now to when I first met you. And this was when it was like, cutting. If I remember correctly, we were the first part of a design team that was created by Terry Donnelly, who I want to see because she changed my whole life.
Yes.
And I want to say that I need you to talk a little bit about your takeaway from that, or that really launched you to be pretty much where you are now, or where did you come from before you got into that design team of 30 Redken artists?
It was I was already teaching, and when I received the call from Terry, it was a brand that I always wanted to be with, was Redken. My father was a big Redken RK man, Josif. He was a barber.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What's important is that what Terry Donnelly taught me at that point in time was how important a system was. So students, you have to understand how important a system is in terms of when you go in and you cut hair, or whether you do a roller set, or whether you do something, the thing waist, everything has a certain way. There's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Before I came to Redken, I was go to step 4, step 2, step 3, step 1. I was basically feeling my way through a haircut. So, and I discovered that feeling requires time. What was really cool was when she said, this is how you're going to relate to the head, a compass kind of thing. I go, wow, that was mind-blowing. So students, what's so important for you to know that what you are learning is your fundamentals and your principles. You have to embrace those right now. Don't make the mistake I made when I was in school and I said, no, I just want to cut hair. I'm going to do it this way. And I made a lot of mistakes. And the mistakes I couldn't correct because I didn't know how. So I was in my head and not paying attention and listening to what I should listen. So when you're in school, seek to understand before you really start to comment, well, I don't need to know that. You have to know everything in school, because fashion is just a repetition of the old and the new. And when it comes back with a different flavor. Let me give you an example. Right now, I really believe we're getting back into cutting hair with discipline. You know, the whole idea of foundations and getting back into sectioning and that kind of thing. So it's really important you understand that what you are being taught right now is something you're going to embrace your entire career. That's what I walked away with, Josif.
I love
Yeah.
that. And, you know, I want to tag onto that, Kris, if I can, because many of them see color. And no offense to color, but right now color is in your face color. Color. They all want to color. So cutting becomes, you know, not that important. And I tend to look at it from an architectural standpoint. You can't side the house and put landscaping around it till you know what the structure is. And would you not agree the importance of how the cutting really needs to be known first before you can actually go funky with some of those colors, even though? Or what do you think?
Well, let me just say it this way. If I was a hairdresser and doing it all over again, Josif, I would want to be a colorist and a cutter and a designer. Because I think right now, what's so important, kids, listen to me, please. And I'm sorry I'm calling you kids. I guess I'm getting old.
It's
But
okay.
it's so important that you learn everything. Don't fall in love with one thing. Don't fall in love with one skill set. Like right now is a time and an opportunity for us all in this industry to push our reset button. I've pushed mine. I pushed my button by saying, okay, I'm going to reset my voice in the industry. I'm going to reset my skill set. I'm going to reset my attitude. I'm going to reset my personality, you know, my teaching skill set. So that's what I've been working on since I've been off. So I would suggest you students push your reset button and go back and revisit everything you've been taught up to this point, and then experiment with it and start to make it your own. But I really believe that you have to understand money is in color. And this is a designer saying that, but money is in color. Oh yes, you can charge $500 for a haircut, but it takes quite a bit of time to get there. And I think Kris will comment and say, your ticket price for a color is higher than a haircut. Yet, when you build those two, how you marry those two together, that's what gives you the strength of any season you happen to be in.
Absolutely, 1000%, Sam. The two go hand in hand. And, you know, what you just said is so pertinent, because unless you have experienced everything in your education, how do you know what you're going to fall in love with anyway? Because maybe what you fall in love with, you're not that great at, and you have to work harder at it. That's okay too.
Right.
But just know, you don't, I love your cap, by the way, Sam, the dry cut cap. Cool. All right, I'm going to ask you another one. What, Sam, has been your most embarrassing moment?
Oh my God. Okay. All right, you ready? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Mannequins are your best tool, your best resource to learn from. So one time when I was in the dentist office, I was getting my teeth cleaned, and a policeman came in and said, who owns this car XYZ with a license plate, blah, blah, blah. And they said, oh, that's Sam's car. And where is he? He's in the back having his teeth cleaned. I need him to come outside now. Well, he said, nope. And the police officer came in the back, and he pulled out his gun and said, do you own a car, blah, blah, blah. And the dentist was like, what? What's going on? And he said, sir, you need to come out with me right now. I'm like, sir, what's the problem? And he goes, you need to come outside right now. So they unstrapped me, I guess you could say. Out the door I went. And he said, is that your car over there? I go, yes, sir, it is. And he said, walk to your car. As I'm walking to my car, I could see hanging out of the trunk was mannequin hair. And he said, sir, I go, officer, what's the problem? He said, we received a phone call that you have a dead body in your car. And I said, it's a mannequin. He goes, sir. And as he's saying this, more police cars are pulling up with sirens, pulling out their guns, pointing them at me. And I opened up the trunk, and he saw his mannequins. He said, sir, please put all your dolls in your trunk. We received a call that you had a dead body. That was an embarrassing moment.
I'd say that was.
But mannequins are still valuable to me, Kris.
Oh, yeah. Yep. They are.
Yeah,
They're our
they
best
truly
friends.
are.
Yes.
What do we do without them? Truly.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I want to say that as you now have become busier, Sam, then you know what I'm saying. And I believe that, and I think you mentioned this to me before, that this could be a really workable platform that feels good. And it's sort of not fun, but it's kind of cool because it's new. But you know, who you can reach out to, and the audiences that you can reach, especially now that we're home. And I want to know where you think that you see, this is a big one, hair shows, like big hair shows. What do you think is just your guesstimate? I mean, I know you're not, you know, you can't say because we all don't know, but you're pretty deep in the industry. Tell me what you think.
Well, Joseph, let's just, you know, this crisis, it's a day-to-day where we navigate ourselves through this crisis day-to-day. So, you know, we just came off a big show, The Show Must Go On. And when the ABS show was canceled, I told my team, the show must go on. We're going to do something. We'll figure it out. It's going to be digital. It's going to be virtual. The attendance was amazing. We've had over 140,000 views. The amount we made in tool sales was incredible. At one point, there was 12,000 people watching at one time. I mean, it was just incredible. So what that told me is what we're discovering here is another resource of education. It's always been here the last 5, 10 years, whatever you want to call it. Yet it's becoming more powerful as a stronger resource. And I see the mass of salon professionals out there are recognizing it and they're capitalizing on it. Yet I also believe that shows will not go away, yet they will change. How they're going to change, I don't know. I think the day may be gone of the big show, and it may be something more kind of venue-like, a small crowd, I don't know, but it will change. Yet what I want the students to understand is, as a hairdresser, you must never cease to learn. People ask me, Kris, Joseph, they go, how did you get where you're at? And the way that I got where I was at was the sales consultants that walked into every salon that I worked in, they knew Sam was an easy ticket sale. Sam would always buy a ticket. So I went to everything. And then some of this teammates that would go with me say, hey, Sam, I didn't learn anything. What did you learn? I said, I learned what not to say. I learned what not to do. So I want you to remember that, students, as an attitude that education is valuable. Don't get the attitude that you think you know it, because I don't even know it. And I've been doing this for 44 years and I don't know everything. I'm still learning things too. I'm still constantly trying to open up my book and learn. So I really believe that the show industry is going to change. I think this is going to be a big platform for us to work with. Yet I also want people to understand the computer can't touch your heart. The computer, you can ask it questions, but you have to wait for your answer, and you might not even get the answer as you scroll down the chats. Yet at a live event, you have an opportunity to really, you know, maybe the handshake will go away. By the way, I'm going to be putting my hand on my heart now when I meet people. But maybe, you know, you're going to get an opportunity to network. You're going to be able to hear it live, and it will affect you. It will light a fire inside of you when you go to something live. So I want you to remember now, don't get caught behind the computer. It's a great resource, but I still believe in live education, the Redken Exchange. I believe in the shows, the ABS, the premiere shows. You know, that's so valuable. Yet you will see change, Joseph, but what kind of change? They're still kind of figuring that out.
Yeah, and on that note as well, I think to add to that, Sam, is that when you have someone standing behind you, and I've seen you do this, if you're standing behind one of your students, you say, you know, if you just move your body position a little bit, lift your elbow, you're going to get a much cleaner line. It's those things that it's very difficult to put across on a computer, because we don't know what challenges those people that are watching us have. Yes. Whereas being there next to somebody can make night and day difference.
Yeah.
Well, I really thank you, Kris, for that, because I really believe that price is what you pay, value is what you get. And you get more value, personally, my perspective, you get more value being at a show live than you do versus digital.
Yeah, for sure. Sammy, what would you say that you owe to your parents?
Oh, wow.
Oh, Jesus.
That's
a good one, Kris.
It's moral values. They really instilled some good moral values. My dad was You know, when I went to my first hair show and blah, 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 I figured out, oh, okay, I want to do that someday. And he said, that's all ego and no money. You know, being up there on the stage, he said, prove to me that you can do that with no ego and with humility. And let's see if you can get to a point where you make some money. But my dad and mom really instilled some good moral values into me that I hold on to. You know, he said, if you help people get what you want, if you help people get what they want, you will get what you want. So my goal has always been to, you know, help hairdressers be better hairdressers. You know, I've never, you know, things are great. I have no complaints. I'm very, very blessed at where I'm at in my career. But I believe that it's all because I've wanted and maintained, I hope, the attitude that I want to help people grow. And I think that's so important, is that, you know, I'm so grateful for them for what they did and what they,
and you do all of that, Sammy, and you do it so well.
Thanks,
we
Kris.
love you.
I love you guys. So I really think
he does do that well, doesn't he?
You have to understand, students, that your taste will be a journey in this industry, meaning that your eyes will learn to see things differently, your hands will learn to do things differently, but your mind is going to, you're going to change as you go on. You know, I've changed over the 44 years. You know, the way I cut hair was not the way I was taught. Yet now I'm recognizing, okay, I need to get back into some discipline, those kinds of things. So what I'm trying to say to you students is this: embrace change. Just like the seasons change outside, as a hairdresser, you have to have the ability to change. Don't fall in love with one haircut. Don't fall in love with one color technique. Don't fall in love with one trick, one hack, but learn as much as you can. One of the things that's so important is that when I was talking to Anthony, he said yesterday, he goes, I remember you, Sam, you always sat in the front row at St. Christopher's Place at the Tony and Guy Academy. He goes, what you were doing, whether you knew it or not, students, listen to this. He said, what you were doing, whether you knew it or not, you were gathering your information to set you up where you are today. And I thought, wow. He goes, because you were taking notes fiercely and you were gathering that information. He goes, that's what he encourages students to do. Now is the time to gather all your information. And the good Lord gave you 2 of these, students, and 1 of these. As a student, you need to use this more than you use this. So important to really enhance your growth while you're at school.
Yeah.
Touche.
Absolutely. And I've been to some of those hair shows in London with you. I know what you're like.
Yeah, you remember the days like this, and then Kris would be videoing, and someone else would be taking pictures. We had all the skill sets covered, Joseph. It was amazing.
Exactly, yeah.
Those were the days, my friend.
Yes.
And they will never end. Sam, ask you a question. You have a son.
Yes, I do.
And I know that. I don't know why I was that hesitant to say that. He grows up, he wants to do what you do. He wants to do this. What are you gonna tell him?
Well, at the moment, it's interesting. He was really into the drums and piano and guitar, and now he's pulling out mannequins and brushes. Even Lisa, my wife, has said, what do you think? I go, first of all, let him do what he wants. Don't think about, well, let's get him to be a hairdresser. Let's put this in him. No, it's up to him to pick up what he wants. That day comes, Joseph, when he says, I'm going to be a hairdresser, I'm going to tell him the same thing my dad told me. It's, you know, it's about the person that's sitting in your chair. With intent and purpose, you listen. With intent and purpose, you perform. You know, with humility, no ego, no attitude about I know everything. If he chooses to go in this industry, I want to share those same things with him. Yeah, for some reason, though, I think he might go in the music industry. Who knows? Or the cooking. He loves to cook with Lisa, Kris.
Oh, really? Oh,
Funny.
oh, fantastic.
Yes.
He's going to be a chef. Good.
Who knows?
If you, Sam, could edit your life or re-edit your life, what changes would you make?
The drug scene. Really raw right now. The drug scene. You know, there was, I mean, in my period of time, yes.
I'm like, Sam,
what do
you used to do drugs?
Let me just say this, all right? And I was not a drug addict, but I did things that I should never have done. I thought now I look back on that, Kris, it was a waste of my time. You know, the years I was surfing, I grew up in Santa Cruz, California, you know, and I was mixed up with the wrong crowd, so to speak. And then one day I just woke up and said, this isn't right. You know, I got to do something with myself. And that was when I was going to college on a volleyball scholarship. I was a setter, cutting school to go to the beach and play. One day I came home, sat down with my mom and dad, said, I want to be a hairdresser. And my mom was like, what? My dad was like, yay. But yeah, and that after that point, when I went to beauty school, that's when I stepped around from that crowd. So the point that I'm trying to make, guys, is, you know, we all make mistakes in our life. And it's just a matter of, you have to recognize when you feel that mistake coming on. The main thing to do is just recognize it. You'll figure it out. You'll get through it. But if you don't recognize it, you're going to keep making the same mistake. And at that time in my life, Kris, I recognized it. And that's what I would change. I would say I went through about 2 years of my life where I felt I wasted time.
Yeah. And
That's a good answer.
now, when we look back, 2 years is a hell of a long time to have wasted.
I mean, look at how long we've been in quarantine, and I can't figure out what day it is sometimes. I'm like, what's today?
Exactly.
Everybody's out there like that.
It's
Did I shower?
It's yesterday's tomorrow. Did I shower?
Did I shower today?
But you know what's so important is that, and you know, just to help you out there for everyone, is that when this whole thing happened, okay, there's these emotions that you go through. But one of the things I did was I thought, okay, I need to stabilize my surroundings, stabilize my home surroundings, stabilize my professional surroundings, stabilize my brand, my team. And I immediately said, all right, Lisa, my wife, is, you know, I go out, do it all. She has a horrible immune system, so she's medically endangered during this crisis. So we set up a policy, said you're not going out. But the point that I'm trying to get at is that we took our phones out. I told her, take our phones out. I said, let's look at our apps. What apps don't we need? After we deleted all the apps we didn't need, we saved $200. So in my lives, I've been talking about people to do that. One family texted me and said, Sam, we found out we were spending over $1,000 with the kids in apps that we did not need a month.
Oh.
So it's about you have to assess your personal life, then assess your professional life. Mm-hmm. So students, you should be working on those mannequins. You know what? You may not want to, but in the future, you're going to be thankful that you did. Mm-hmm. So right now is an opportunity for you to push the reset button, assess, okay, what am I lacking in school? What am I not good at? Some people say, well, Sam, I have problems holding the comb. Well, then if I were you, while you're watching Netflix, I'd be combing a mannequin out and just working 100 strokes a night. Now 100 strokes this way with this hand. Now flip the comb, flip the comb, flip the comb, flip it with the other hand. Put your shears in your hand. You could still watch Netflix, but you're focusing and working. People ask me, do you work out? No, I work out with my mannequins. That's what I work out with. But I think
I love that.
You got to push that. You got to just assess where you're at. Well, you know, students, you're going to get through this. You're going to be fine. We're going to nourish each other. We're going to support each other. We're going to unite together. And you're going to come out even stronger as a student, because you're going to look back at this time and you're going to talk about this, say, well, when I went to beauty school, my dad walked 10 miles in the snow, but I went to the coronavirus.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh.
So life is really crazy right now, but you know,
but valuable lessons, very valuable, because we have the time to think and to tune in to things like iConixxx. I mean, who would have been listening to Sammy talking about his most embarrassing moment had we not done this, Josif? You know,
I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. It is so worth it. It is so worth it. I'm still in shock about it all. You know, I mean, you're right. And I'm so glad that we have Sam in our life that we can bring forth. And, to tag on to what Sam is saying, these students need to understand that Redken alone is giving them so much valuable information right now, that how is that fair that it takes me 30 years to save up enough money and time to go and get that education, and they're getting it every day. Lori, Kris, Justin, Hugo. Are you kidding me, Sam? Come on. One of the hugest teams in my world is Sam Villa, Chris Sorbie, and Chris Barron. To see the three of you together, as I have in my life,
great days,
molding, shows and designs and looks, you know, I am telling you, you three have changed the industry for where it is today. I don't care. That's my opinion. I don't need to say these things to get on your Christmas list because I'm on there already.
Oh, gosh. Sam, what would you say is a trait that you have that you deplore in yourself?
Oh, wow.
I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. You did send that question too. Oh, wow. I would say humility. You know, I've always tried to stay there with that. I hope I'm answering your question.
You are.
Humility, you know, I mean, I've always tried to, like, ego is good, get me wrong. But yet how you manage your ego is really important, you know, because ego is going to really enhance your growth, but how you manage it. I've really tried to manage mine. And yet at the same time, my team, they, you know, you get to a certain point in your career and the people that surround you say, look, if you say the sky is green, they're going to believe you the sky is green. I go, but that's not the point.
Exactly.
You know, that's not the point. The point is what I want to say, is it a fact? You know, that kind of thing. So it's humility. It's like just being positive, being humble, being, you know, I really believe, guys, get this one. Students, listen to this. Simplicity is today's brilliance. So keeping things simple in life today is so important. So I want you to think about this. Think before you post. Really think before you post. You know, break that down. There's a great book, Think Before You Speak, by H.A. Blaine. And he talks about this acronym, THINK. Ask yourself what you're going to T, ask yourself, is it true? What you're about to post, is it factual? And then H, ask yourself, is it really happening? And then I, is it inspiring what you've written, what you're about to post? N, is it necessary? Is it really necessary, or are you just trying to get followers? And then lastly, which I think why I'm saying this, is it kind? So, you know, before you push that post button, ask yourself that, what you're about to post. So I think, you know, that's the thing that I've really tried to stay in that box of just really helping people be better hairdressers and better people and better communicators, better teachers, etc.
And you know, Sam, I think that that's the reason that you now have gained over 800,000 followers. That's insane.
Yes.
You know, I could barely write that number down.
When
you know,
is your
I'm
first
dyslexic with numbers, but you know, if you people buy people before they buy things, you have always said that, and you, because of your authenticity, that's why people, you know, your team kind of have a point when they say, you know, if you say that's green and it's black, they'll believe you. But you have always done it with integrity and with authenticity. And that is how we get it. We gain our followings because of that. So well done, Sammy. That's a huge number.
800,000. When is your first single coming out?
You know, a lot of people bring up the number, and you know, I was really honored to receive the International Influencer of the Year award.
That was my next question.
They just kept talking about the number. I go, guys, it's not about the number.
Yeah.
I said the number, I believe, came because we cared about the industry and we cared about people, and we tried to be very genuine, and we tried to keep things very simple, what we were putting out there. And a lot of people, if you look at a lot of Instagrams, think about this. If you look at a lot of IGs, a lot of people post their work. You know, it would have been easy for me to post my work, but it wasn't about me. What it was about, and what I set those social platforms to be, was let's get everybody else's work out there. Let's help people grow. If the education we're going to put on there, it's going to be simple things that they can use behind the chair. That was so important. And I think, Kris, that's what really pushed us to the top, was that whole concept. And then we went into the concept of educational sound bites. We moved away from DVDs, and I told my team, we're going to do 3-minute, 5-minute, 7-minute, nothing longer than a 15-minute hair hack or educational piece, because I saw that's where it was going, was to short educational sound bites and away from DVDs.
Absolutely, because if you're in between clients, you can sit in the back room and there you get a quick tip and you go out there and you do it. You know, it's perfect. That was in the good old days, by the way, when we were all in salons, but that'll be back.
Glad you brought up the break room. Students, that's called the broke room. That's where you go broke. You don't want to hang out in that break room. You go broke back there. Excuse me, I'm going to be really raw here if you don't mind, iConixxx. But
be raw.
That's a disease. That's where diseases grow. That's where stabbing behind the back goes. That's where talking behind the back goes. I suggest if you're not busy, you get on the salon floor. That's where the action is. That's where the learning is. Well, Sam, I'm checking my email. I'm checking my text. Okay, remember this. The client you had last week, you talked about changing her color blonde. Then why don't you get on Pinterest, get 3 shades of blonde, put it in a little text and send it to her and tell her, Louise, I was thinking about you. See what shade of blonde, but you send it to her when she's at work. And when she gets to work, she's going to open up and go, hey, guys, what color do you think I should go? What do you talk about, Louise? Well, my hairdresser's thinking about going blonde. I'm thinking about blonde. Which, Louise, wait a minute. No, guys, no, Louise, your hairdresser sent you that? Yeah. Who's your hairdresser?
Yeah.
You see, what I want you to understand is there's more value on a salon floor than there is in a break room. So, for example, if you're not busy, invest in a mannequin.
Thank you.
While that color is processing, you get out there on that mannequin, take the magazine away in today's world. You sit there with that mannequin, you teach them a little good, cool trick on how to cover the elastic on a ponytail, even if she has a pixie, because you could make her the hero of the family. You make her the hero of the family. And not only that, by showing her how to do that, everybody else in the salon is going, what's that guy over there, Sam, doing? Oh, he's playing with his dolls and he's showing his client how to cover the elastic. That was really cool. Can you show me how to do that? That's value. Remember this, price is what they pay, value is what they get. So you want to add value in your appointment time. Like right now, students, you want to grow your clients, or you want to practice some good practices right now, business practices. If I were you, I'd buy a little monkey tripod, put it on your station at school, and videotape you teaching the client that's sitting in your chair how to blow dry their hair.
Totally.
So what you're working on is you're working on your communication skills. Now that client walks out with their phone, with their own blow dry tutorial on their phone, the client wins and you win because you practiced how to talk, teaching them how to do a blow dry. That's value.
Absolutely. Instead of asking about the dog and the kids. So
I'm going to push pause. I'm going to push pause for just a second because I want to open the chat room up now for anyone that has any questions.
Just going to suggest.
Yep. Anyone that has any questions for Sam, go ahead and you can open yourselves up to asking anything in the chat box and we'll monitor that.
Joseph, while you're waiting, I want to comment on what Kris just said.
Yeah,
guys,
go ahead, please.
Here's what I'm saying is, don't think, oh, Sam, you're so hardcore. Guys, watch, listen to this. Louise, how's Tommy? How's Tommy doing? How old is he now? He's 4? Tell me about his hair. See, I showed genuine concern about the family, but I took control of the conversation and took it to his hair. Just wanted to add that bit.
Good one.
Thank you.
That's why we love you, Sam.
Oh, I love you guys. So good to see you.
You too.
We missed you. We miss you.
Thank you. I miss you guys too.
Sam?
Yes, sir.
Question anonymous.
Please.
What makes you unhappy?
When I hit a golf ball to the right or to the left, I'm not very happy. Or when I miss a putt that's like within a foot, I'm not very happy.
All right, that's a good one. All right, another one. How do you relax?
Well, I'm going to go back to that game, golf. It's me, and here's why. Because it's me and the golf ball, and I don't have anybody else talking to me. And usually when I play, I'm up early, and I'm usually the first one on the course. It's across the street. So I'm really lucky. I get there. I'm by myself. It's just me and the ball, and I really do a lot of thinking. So that's where I have my quiet time, I guess you could say. And I love to fish.
I love that.
And it's one of the few sports that we can do in this lockdown situation.
Well, you know what I do, Kris? I just spank that little white thing. I chase it, yell at it, and then I put it in this little hole, you know?
I don't want to comment to that.
Okay.
Sammy, when did you last cry and why?
Oh my gosh. I just cried the other day. I'm having some friends die that are hairdressers.
Oh no.
You know, so, and I cried about Mustafa, you know, from Matrix. Yeah, it's during this crisis, watching the news. I watched, me and my wife, we got these tears going down. It's just sad what's going on. It really is. It's just a sad time in our life, but it also is an opportunity for discoveries. And I think if you stay on that side of the discoveries of really discovering things that are going to enhance your life after this, take a look at it this way. There's an obstacle in front of us. We'll figure out how to get through it, around it, under it, or over it. But I'm going to ask yourself, how are you going to come out on the other side? And that's why I was talking earlier about pushing my reset button. I want to reset myself as a teacher, as a person, as a voice in the industry, as a husband, as a father. You know, how are you going to come out on the other side? It's so important to ask yourself right now.
All right, let's take a couple more. Let's do one more. Any advice or words of wisdom for those about to graduate and start in the salon life?
Yes. First question would be, do you know where you're going to work? If you don't, the suggestion I have is, if you have some salons that you're interested, go in the salon and sit in the reception area, in the waiting area for an hour. Listen to the communication skills. Watch the technical skills. Listen to the environment. Does it feel tense? Does it feel tense? If it does, and the no is, you answer a majority of those no, then that's not the place for you to be. When you walk into a salon, if they answer the phone, it's a great day at Josif Wittnik, then wow. And if you watch them do their consultation, it's wow. And if you watch them do a haircut and it walks out, it's wow. Then that's where you want to apply. That's the recommendation I have. If they if they tell you they have an apprenticeship program, ask them to see it in writing. If they can't show it in writing, they don't have it. They don't have it. They're going to make it up as they go along. I just really want to be really honest here on that, Joseph, and I hope I'm not stepping on the grounds. And oh, by the way, when people ask me about a school, I always recommend, Sam, where should I send my daughter to school? I say T-Spa or Summit. Those are the two schools that are the best schools. So you're lucky you're in a good school. If you only knew where I went to school. It was a good school, but I didn't listen. It's
amazing. We'll take one more.
Yep.
Your favoritist? Is that the word? Most favorite country you have done your work in?
Come on, Kris, you know that answer.
It's going to be either South Africa or Australia, isn't it?
Okay, what's my favorite hair color?
I'll pass on that. Is it a country that we've been to together?
No, it's not.
So it's not Italy?
Blondes.
Oh, Scandinavia. So Norway, Sweden, Denmark. Okay.
I'll never forget going to Sweden the very first time, and they had 100 girls show up, and I couldn't make my choices. All I had to pick was 5. Yeah. But they were all the most beautiful women, the most beautiful skin, the most beautiful blonde, and they would say to me, "Can I go dark?" And I go, "You have the most beautiful blonde." They're like, "You were blonde all your life. The only thing to do is go dark." But
exactly.
And then the people there were so kind. It was some great times in Sweden. I've been there many times for another brand and for Redken, but that has to be my favorite, one of my favorites.
Cool. And that's where you married a beautiful blonde.
Yes.
Who I love.
Yes. Inside.
Please give Lisa my love. And big hugs to Matteo.
You know I will. You know. But I would say, Joseph, that's my favorite. You know, I had a great time in South Africa. That's a trip I'll never forget because I had an opportunity to do a safari, which really touched my life. And the other one would be Morocco, you know, Marrakesh, doing a show there. And I remember the sense of smell and the colors at the market. That just really, that was a scene I'll never forget. But this is what, for the students out there, see, this is what's so cool about what you've gotten into. You just don't know where the journey is going to take you. You have a lot of different avenues you could walk down. Manage a salon, own a salon, session stylist, a platform artist, a teacher, go back to school, be a teacher. I mean, do hair in a movie. I mean, there's so many avenues, yet focus on the fundamentals because any of those avenues, you're going to need strong skill sets.
Totally. We would never have done Fashion Week, Sammy, had we not had all of those skill sets.
Well, I don't know if you can see my arms, students, but they're all burnt up. Okay, and they're
You've been
burned.
playing with the curling irons.
Right. Well, here's what happened, Kris. I'll never forget. All I wanted to do was cut hair. Then when they said, I remember, Suzanne, we're going to do Fashion Week. I go, oh, what do we need to do? We're going to have to work with irons. I go, oh, I don't know. I don't know how to work with a curling iron. So that's how I got all my burns, was relearning how to hold and work with a curling, a Marcel iron.
Well, you can't stand on your head and curl hair at the same time, and that's what you were doing. You do the most incredible waves where you twist that iron.
Oh, yes. But that comes from the great Brent Borson. You know, let's give credit.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, what you do is you take something, you make it your own. But what I want you to do as students is when you learn something, try to break it down and make it simple in your own way. And that's when it really becomes a huge discovery.
And that's where systems work.
Yes.
Like you do. You do watch, wrist, or pulse, touch and waltz, watch. Something like that.
That's right.
I love that. You know what? This is what it's all about, Sam. Spread the news on iConixxx, because this is truly what it's about. It's really sharing truthisms and stories like this and inspiration. And I just, this whole wonderful thing is I love it. So in closing, Sam, tell the people that are in this room with you where they can maybe follow you, what you're having coming up soon, because then I'll have Kris and I will kind of let them know who we've got coming up next Monday.
Awesome.
But give them some way of following you.
Okay. First of all, guys, you can follow me. I highly recommend subscribe on YouTube. YouTube is a great resource for learning. And subscribe on the YouTube/Sam Villa channel. And then follow me on Facebook. Sam Villa Professional is my professional page. And then my Instagram handle is Sam Villa Hair. Some of the things we have coming up, we're very excited. We are getting ready to do, I put together a social-thon. I remember one of my parents' favorite things was to watch Jerry Lewis, and it was a telethon. And I was thinking about how can we help the COVID-19 relief fund. I thought, why not do a telethon, but I'm going to call it a social-thon. So I reached out to all my friends, and it was amazing. Before I could even finish saying it, everybody was on the telephone saying, yes, Sam, yes, I'm in, count me in. So I've gathered a lot of friends together. On May 17th, you'll see a social-thon. You're going to see everybody has 30 minutes to do hair. So they're going to be doing 30 minutes. We're going to be raising, you're going to see the money ticker going up, raising money, donate, push the donate button. It goes directly to PBA. So we're very excited. That's going to start at 10 a.m. and end 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's going
all UK time?
UK, yeah, at 6 a.m. I know, 5 a.m., like that, 4 a.m.
No, it's later than that, but that's fantastic, Sam. Look forward to that. I'm going to try and join that.
Yeah. And then the other thing that we're working and we're talking about right now is there's a lot of salons out there that are really suffering and don't even know if they're going to open. So somehow we're trying to figure out how can we get the money in that salon's pocket. So there's an app that we're looking at right now where salons can probably sign up, and then all they got to do is click the link that's affiliated with their salon. Then we're going to get the consumers to donate to that directly to that salon. So we'll do an all-day hair affair, but it will be all consumer hair hacks and things like that. And then the salons will be responsible for getting their clients on to watch it so that they can donate to their particular salon. So that one's in the works.
I think that's great. And Sam, always remember, this is no plug, but you've been there to back up Joy and I with our foundation that has been national, and we help thank you, in a beautiful orphanage in Africa that is dear to us from Sam Scheimer. His wife started it. But if there's anything Trim Hunger can do that we can release nationally in this country that salons can raise dollars for other salons, please count me in, please contact me, and I will do what I can to help with the Trim Hunger platform.
Joseph, and I got your back. Anything I can help you on. We're hoping May 17th will go viral. You know, we really just want everybody, just repost, share it if you guys would be so kind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And whatever we can do for iConixxx. But I just want to end with a message for the students. You know, let me just give you a quick story. When I was in school, I was about 3 months in school, my teacher came up to me and said, Sam, your rollers are falling out underneath the dryer. You need to go put them back in. And you might think about doing something else. So that really hit me. So here's what I'm just leaving you with, students. If I can do this, you can do it. Focus on how you can versus why you can't, because I believe in you and you can. But it's only going to happen if you do this. And that's most importantly while you're in school, listen and use this less. Use this to question, to enhance your learning. Yeah. But just remember, my friends, that whenever you see me at a show or an event, students, please come up and say hi and let me know that you were from T-Spa in Wisconsin, and whatever we can do to help you out, we got your back.